Hey guys, it's Aiko. I'm an American English pronunciation coach and business coach based in Hawaii. Okay, so I have a special guest today, Rie Hiramatsu. Rie-san, thank you very much for coming to my show.
Hi, Aiko-san. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much for having me on your show, which is exclusive.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. So Rie-san, would you please tell us what you do?
Sure. I am a Japanese and English conference interpreter based in the UK, namely West Yorkshire, in very much of a countryside. Maybe it is familiar for some of you if I mentioned a Wallace and Gromit. That area, very much so, like Wensleydale cheese kind of thing. And also a foreign accent reduction consultant for English learners and speakers whose mother tongue is Japanese. Thank
Wow, I love Walton and Gromit.
you. You do? I
Oh,
like Shaun the Sheep as well.
so you're in that area. Oh, wow. Wow, that's so awesome. And then you mentioned that you are an like a British English pronunciation consultant for Japanese
Mhm.
speakers. So would you please tell us why you started that?
Of course. Well, I think it was about a couple of years ago that I just thought that because I had some experience in international conferences and business meetings while I was interpreting or trying to support my clients there, I had seen many people speak good English, but with poor pronunciation, where their English was supposedly very good or excellent. And I felt sorry. And I thought it was such a waste where they could, communicate more effectively and with confidence if their pronunciation had been better. So that was what kicked off, really. And then when I say pronunciation here, I mean more than just pronunciation in terms of like a phoneme or word, but to cover the aspect of spoken language as a whole, from phonemes to speech delivery, like both verbal and non-verbal, should I say, elements of it. So, working on pronunciation addresses multifacets of language learning, per se. And for someone to be able to pronounce a sentence naturally, I think he or she has to be repeating it out loud. And while he or she is saying it aloud, chances are you would, or he or she would, stumble upon some words or sounds. And then by the time they're confident or satisfied with the sounds that they're making, I think they can certainly hear it or pick up when somebody else says the words or phrases that they're learning. Yeah. So that was that. And truth be told, that these kinds of output centered activities seemingly, as I said, have been ignored in the conventional classroom teaching exercise in the context of Japanese education system, I thought. So it's great that I can work as a professional interpreter, and that's my bread and butter. But I thought, it didn't change the fact that I wasn't addressing that problem, just not complaining, but criticizing it. And I thought, okay, maybe I should come up with a solution, some sort of, business to address that problem.
Wow, wow. Well, it is pretty much similar why I started doing this accent reduction lessons for Japanese speakers. Oh, in
Really?
American and English, because I felt like, well, I had a hard time my own when I came to the US and I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't really communicate in English at the beginning. And it took me a while to figure out American accent And now I want to help those Japanese speakers who are working in an American English pronunciation, American English environment, so that they don't have to repeat themselves, right? So it's like
Mm-hmm.
repeating takes a lot of energy out of you.
That's true. That's
So
true.
it's gonna be so much easier if
Yeah.
um, your pronunciation is understood, right? So yeah, wow, I
Completely.
like that.
Completely. That's fascinating. I love hearing what you said, and that's great. Brave
Yeah, so
decision, I think.
yeah, thank you. So now I want to ask you
Mm-hmm.
if you would give me a mini lesson on British English. I speak American English, but I'm learning British English, and then I find it pretty different from American English. So, do you have any like words that sound very different from American English? And would you please teach me?
Whoa, that's challenging. I'll give best shot, but yes, sure, that sounds fun, actually. In fact, I used to speak with more of an American accent, and I really liked American accent because that was my plan to move to America instead of UK. It just turned out to be this way, funnily enough. So before I started speaking, well, with British-ish accent, I was speaking with some sort of American-ish accent, I think, and I still like it, especially with some like a southern accent. Southern state accent. I like it. But anyway, I was thinking about some words, and because I thought you might hit me with this. So I was thinking about it, and then I came up with some words, as you said. So should I open up the list of words here? Do you see it? Maybe you don't. Should I
Yes.
just share it with you? Maybe. Yeah. Do you see it?
Yes.
Is that all right? Oh, great. Yes. The first one I still say with American accent, and I am not ashamed of it. The first one is actually two words, figure out, but I would say figure out. How would you say it, Aiko?
I say figure out.
Exactly. I say it that way as well, but in British accent, it's supposed to be figure out, figure out.
Figure out. But oh wait, not out. Figure out.
Figure out. Figure.
Figure out.
It's strange, isn't it? Like if you take out this out, then it becomes figure, and then because British accent is not rhotic, typically, not all British accents are non-rhotic, but like from West country, like Cornwall and places like that, people speak with R, strong R. So it depends, but typically, like non-rhotic British accent would be without the strong R at the end of this word figure, but out starts with the vowel, so this R comes back. So we have to pronounce this R at the end to link it with the out. So figure out. But this first word, figure, is not figure. I always want to say figure, but someone pointed out that it's actually figure.
That is so interesting. So it's figure out.
Yeah, like figure out. It's strange, isn't it?
Figure.
Exactly.
Wow.
I was taken by surprise as well.
Wow, sounds so cool.
Does it?
Yeah.
Great. I still prefer figure out. This American way.
Yeah, American
Yeah.
way to figure out. like, and out is really round, so it becomes more like flat rather
I
than the
see.
symbol right there. The symbol right
Uh-huh.
there is like a out, out,
Uh-huh.
out.
Like shout
Yeah,
out kind of.
yeah.
Oh,
So it
that's
becomes
interesting. Uh-huh.
not but
Uh-huh.
in Hawaii, it's
Uh-huh. Oh, that's interesting. Wait, where you said just out, I thought it sounded very British there, actually, the way you said it.
That's interesting. Yeah, so in Hawaii, it's out. But on the mainland
Right.
America, US, Canada,
Uh-huh.
it's out, like air, out.
Uh-huh. Okay, that's so interesting. Like, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So how about the next word?
Next one is that okay. Um, you know, the tuna can. Tuna. Tsuna in Japanese, I think. Tsunakan.
Na,
Tuna.
okay,
Maguro.
maguro.
Yes.
All right.
Tuna.
So in American and English, it's tuna, tuna. Yeah, it's short.
Tuna. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How do you say it?
There are two ways of saying it, I think. It's either tuna or tuna.
Tu becomes like chew.
Exactly. Like chew the face, chew the fat, chew.
Oh, that's so cute. Like I've heard people say YouTube in
Mm-hmm.
British English. I think YouTube.
YouTube. Yes.
Okay, so it's chew.
Uh-huh. I
Two
think so.
ways. The one way is chew. Tuna.
Tuna. And also tune, as in tune, would be to like
Chew.
either two or chew. It's just you can say the same thing about the tube, as in subway. The tube is also tube or tube, I think.
What is the difference in those two?
Oh, those two. One is t tube. The other one is tube. So ch, no hesitation. It's
Oh, so the first one is a little bit like separated.
I would say so. Yes.
Chew. And the
Tube.
next one is chew.
Tube. Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. That's so hard. Like, to me, both sounded the same because I never thought of that chew and chew are
Mm-hmm.
different things. I didn't pick up the sound. Wow.
I don't blame you. I was the same, exactly the same, until I started picking up these, yeah, nitty-gritty things.
Wow. Wow. So it's tune or tune.
Tune, yes, tune. Yeah,
Wow.
thanks.
Cool. And how about the next one?
Next one, very, very simple, like no and so.
Wow, it sounds really wow. Okay. So in American English, it's no, right? Oh, so
Mm-hmm.
no, so. But this one is hard. The way that you said it, I have no idea how I produce that sound.
I learned your way and I had no problem saying it that way. No. And that's what I thought it was. I think that's how I was taught all the way. But then I started to pick up people here pronounce completely differently. Like almost like no. Like no becomes almost no. That's what I thought first. And then it was, if you just pay much attention to it, like in detail, it's more like oh, and the tongue position is different. It's different from oh, like tongue is a bit raised, I think. and then it's really lazy lazy sound at the beginning. And no and so, these two or words with diphthong. So of course you have to make double vowel sounds. So that is something that I and everybody has to focus on. But the first vowel is this schwa. So it's o. It's really lazy sound. But together it becomes very, how should I say, like typical Southern British accent, I think.
Wow. Can I try it?
Of course, by
Uh,
all means.
okay. Sure. Right. Wait, wait, wait. No. Eh? Eh? No. No.
It's getting there. You're getting there, I think.
Do you use your lips more or you use your tongue more when you move to sound?
No, no. Oh, I round it towards the end, but at the beginning, because it's schwa, I don't. And I see your mouth shape, and that's perfect, I think. And the second vowel is just slightly round it and close.
Okay. Okay. So no, no, no.
Get in there.
Get in there. Oh my God.
Yes, I hear it.
It's a really interesting sound. Air, air, oh.
Oh, there you go. No.
Oh,
There
got
you
it,
go.
got it. Wow. Okay. So my tongue is completely relaxed. And
Uh-huh.
lips are not really moving, but my jaw goes up just a little bit, so the tongue goes up just a little bit. So it feels like really natural. Like in American English, it needs more tension. Like you really need to be aware of that sound, right? Because
Right.
so the your mouth is more vertical rather than
Uh-huh.
British English.
Sideways.
It's
Mm-hmm.
sideways. Yeah. Wow. All right. Cool. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna practice it. Sounds so cool.
That's great. I've been watching you experimenting, changing your mouth shape and tongue and everything. That's brilliant. I found it so fascinating.
Wow, that's awesome because you gave me a clear instructions, so I was able to
I
make
hope so.
that. Okay, so how about the next word?
Next word is spelt Derby. That's the name of a place or region, like Derbyshire. But it is spelt with ER, but it is pronounced with R as in AR. Derby. It's not Derby, but you inclined to say Derby, wouldn't you? Because that's how it's spelt.
So it's like Derby.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's
In
strange, isn't it?
American English, I am not sure. I don't really pronounce this word particularly, so I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But judging from the phonetic symbols there, Derby,
Yeah.
probably that's
Yes.
IPA right there. So, oh wow, sounds really different. So it's not it's ah.
Exactly. And then why not spell it with A then? That's what I thought at the
Confusing.
beginning. Exactly. I thought it was really confusing.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the next one looks really interesting in British English. It has F in it. How do you
Strange.
pronounce
Yes.
it?
It's lieutenant.
Lieutenant. Almost like
Exactly.
two separate words. Left tenant.
Hmm. Exactly. And the right tenant and lieutenant, yes.
Wow. So yeah, in American English it's lieutenant.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh wow, so different. And the next word, library. I'm not really good at pronouncing that word, but how do you pronounce it?
now I used to pronounce it library, but now I pronounce it as library, trying to sound more British for the consistency, I think. But
Library.
yes, as if they skipped the second syllable, as
Yes.
if there is no R or A there. Yeah,
Right,
sorry.
right. So in American, in American English too, I hear two versions often, and so one is library,
Mhm.
library,
Yeah.
and the other one is library, like library. So the phonetic symbol right there is library. So that's the mendokusai version.
Yes. Yes.
Mendokusai
I
way.
like that. That's true. And then and then I think that's how it's spelled as well. And then I tend to say it that way. But when I listen to British people, they often say library or library, like your first version in American English. It's closer to that. And the younger generation, I hear them as it's spelt library, but just a little bit more of a um schwa rather than rary. It's rary, I
Wow,
think.
interesting. So it's library, the way that you say it now, library.
It's faster, yes. I think altogether it's kind of faster.
Library.
Library, yes, I think.
Mm,
Hmm.
wow. So next word, I don't know how to pronounce it.
This one, like signatory. And I was watching my very best, my very favorite TV show. Well, it's finished a couple of years ago, but The Big Bang Theory. I love The Big Bang Theory. And Sheldon, the main character, one of the main characters, um, talk often talks about the roommate agreement. And he mentioned Leonard as a signatory. And then I just picked it up like British people wouldn't say signatory. It would be signatory. So
Signatory is signatory?
yes, yes, perfect.
Signatory? It's like almost like a tree,
Exactly.
right? Tree, almost like tree, and not tor.
Exactly. Yeah.
Signatory.
Signatory, as if there is no or between T and R.
Oh, wow. So the next one, I am guessing it's going to be the same, like at the end, like a tree and Tory.
Laboratory. That's right. You're right.
So
Yes.
how do you pronounce it?
I had to correct this. I was saying it in American way, believing that it was the British way. So I used to pronounce this word as a laboratory, but it was supposed to be laboratory.
Wow, the stress syllable is different. It moves.
Exactly.
Oh, that's right. I lived in Vancouver, Canada for 2
Hmm.
years, and what
Uh-huh.
I noticed is that people said um garage,
Oh.
garage.
Garage, yes.
Oh, you say garage. Oh,
Garage.
okay. So in American English, it's garage. So the
Hmm.
stress syllable changes, right? Switches. Oh, that's really interesting. And
When I lived, and when I lived in, sorry to interrupt, like when I lived in Northern Ireland, people there pronounce that word garage, I think.
Wow, so interesting. And the first vowel is pretty different to lab,
Mhm.
whereas British English it's lab,
Laboratory.
labora, laboratory.
Exactly.
Laboratory. Oh, wow. And in American English, I don't pronounce the whole thing. So I don't know how to pronounce it. Just looking at the phonetic symbols, I would say laboratory, I think. But
Beautiful.
thank you. But in a conversation, I just say lab.
Of course. I'd
Mm.
like to say lab as well, like refrigerator, fridge. Lab. Yeah, that'll
So
do.
it's like short. So
I think
I don't
so.
really hear people say laboratory, but I always hear the word lab. Lab.
Mm-hmm.
Lab
Mm-hmm.
lab partner. Like in the chemistry class, we always had like a lab partner. So we just say lab. So the word lab. So it's so hard to say the formal
The whole
word.
thing. I don't blame you, but you said it so beautifully. I'm amazed.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, thank you. Wow, it is so different.
I shouldn't be amazed because it's your profession, but because you told me that you had almost never experienced or practiced to sound British. So I'm taken aback. Yeah.
Wow, great. So thank you very much for the lesson.
My
And
pleasure.
yeah, thank you. So, okay, so the next question is,
Uh-huh.
do you have any suggestion for Japanese speakers who want to improve their British English pronunciation specifically?
Right. I see. For the people who live in Japan and having difficulty accessing British English contents, I suppose. Of course, well, I have to start with the BBC Learning English. That there are like 6-minute English is 6 minutes, so it's quite short and sweet. And then it is a whole conversational. It's really helpful. But my favorite actually is the English we speak. It's even shorter. It's only for, well, normally 2 minutes. And it picks up some British colloquial phrases or expressions and you can use. And the context is given there. So it's enough. So you can be confident in using it in certain situations and that. So I think that's really good. And then in terms of listening and familiarizing yourself with the sound and the topic, like British local topics, I would say the BBC Radio 4. Particularly, I like this program called Women's Hour, not Women, Women's Hour. It's a very popular program that has been broadcast since 1946. There are so many inspiring episodes, and Music 6 is also good. I think I didn't know about this channel but I had this privilege to work for them, and it's basically all about music, but in between songs, they are like quite fast paced, but very British introduction and a conversational, um, you know, moments there. So I would really recommend anyone, to be immersed in British language.
Wow, thank you very much. I had to move the angle. Sorry.
I just wondered, but is everything all right?
Yes, yes. It's just, like just moving for my family member so that they don't get in the camera.
I understand.
Yes. Yeah. So thank you very much for sharing your tip. And
No problem.
Yeah, so if the audience wants to learn from you, you're offering the British English pronunciation lessons. How and where can they find you?
Find me. Right. Great question. Thank you. They can come and join me on my Facebook group. It is focusing on pronunciation by singing English songs, and it is totally free of charge. So if they want to test the water, whether the accent reduction is for them, and formal, should I say, formal programs. Sorry about that. Will be just yeah. I thought I had turned it off, but anyway, would be that they can find me on podcast, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and also websites. I've got two websites. One is for my interpreting voiceover services, and the other for my pronunciation school. So with the interpreting and voiceover services, that's www.rie.london. That's ria.london. And for the pronunciation one, replace www with school. So it's the school.ria.london. There's no like World Wide Web. Instead, that's school. So then they can find me. So now I am in the middle of the intensive pronunciation course with a group of students, but private lessons are available as well. And what's simple and best is to opt in at the website. So they will be notified with the seminars or live events, as well as courses when they, commence.
Wow, thank you very much. Okay, so I'm gonna put the links um, to website links in my description box so people can check it out. So please check out Rie-san's pronunciation course, and I hope that like more people learn British English because some people contact me and like I only teach American English, right?
Uh
But
huh.
they say, "Oh, I'm looking for a British English pronunciation coach who is Japanese," and I'm like, "Oh, not so many people I know." So, British English is
Really?
definitely getting more popular, but not many teachers, I feel like.
Oh,
So
I
I hope that,
see.
yeah, so I hope that,
Come and visit me.
yeah,
Then
definitely. I'm
let's do
gonna
it.
refer them to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, please. Wonderful.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, yes, Sam, thank you very much for your time today. I really enjoyed the conversation. So, thank you.
So do I. Pleasure was mine. Thank you very much, Aiko-san. Thank you very much for the privilege to have me on your show. And thank you very much for the audience for listening to me, to us. And I hope you enjoyed it.
Right. Thank you. All right. Bye.
Thank you.